It's that time again for 5 minutes of free advice brought to you by 7 Generation Games, games that make you smarter. And today's free advice is about the fact that your parents are actually people. That may seem like a flash of the blinding obvious, but it turns out that it's not. Many years ago, when my children were small, I was teaching adolescent psychology, and in the textbook it said that adolescents don't really look at their parents as people. In fact, it's not until we're in our 30s that we really consider our parents as the same as other human beings. And I thought that's just ridiculous. Well, now I have children, and they are getting into their 30s. Just recently, Jennifer said to me, "You know, Mom, when we were little and you had to work a lot and Dad was sick and then he died, I'll bet that was really hard." And it was really hard. And I thought it was pretty funny that she hadn't really given it much thought until she was 30. And she has to work really hard herself. But it's not just Jennifer. I can think off the top of my head of 5 different people I know who are in their late 30s who are living off of their parents. And I find that frankly appalling. And I don't really quite get why their parents allow it. They're not disabled. I'll give you an example. One of them, I said, because I have no tact, "Why don't you get a job instead of living off of your mom?" And he said, "Why should I do that? To make it easier on her?" I should have slapped him. She should have slapped him. Where do you get off thinking that you, an able bodied adult, are owed that someone else support you? I told all of my kids this. I will put you through college and then I'm done. I don't feel like I owe it to support them. I love them very much, but I'm an old woman. I was working on a grant tonight until almost midnight. And a lot of the parts of it that I don't really like come at the end, like making sure that the numbers in the budget match up with the numbers in the commercialization plan, which match up with the sales forecast in the project narrative. That is exactly as boring as it sounds. And doing it until midnight to make sure that everything gets done correctly so that we get funding for the next couple of years is exactly as not fun as it sounds. But it covers the bills, it covers the payroll, it pays for me to live here and have this office and all that. Why do I owe it to take the money from doing really boring stuff I don't feel like doing and hand it off to another person who's perfectly capable of getting up and going to work themselves? Why is that? Let's talk about the difference between obligations and gifts. So, I really believe that if you have children, you are obliged to make sure that they are well fed, well clothed, educated. And by that, I mean that they have clothes appropriate to the weather, that they have food that is healthy, that they go to schools where they can learn the things that they need to get by in society. I don't think that means that you have to take them to Abercrombie and Fitch and buy the latest whatever it is that they feel like they need, or their social life is going to be ruined forever, or that you have to take them to 5-star restaurants, or that you have to send them to private schools. Now, I did send my children to private schools. It was very important to me, but I don't think I owed it to them. What I just really don't get, for example, this young woman that sued her parents and lost, by the way, for college tuition because they could afford it. That makes no sense to me. Just because your parents can afford something doesn't mean they owe it to give it to you. Now, most people do, and I am happy to give things to my children. Uh, My youngest daughter, she has a 5-year-old Prius that we gave her because we wanted her to have a safe car that got good gas mileage to drive to boarding school and back. We don't owe her a brand new Jaguar. And by the way, she doesn't think we do. But I see kids that are really upset because their parents didn't buy them a new car. What did you do to deserve that? Because they can afford it? Well, yes, they can. What has that got to do with it? What did you do? And so I just don't get this, what people call an entitlement mentality. What is so special about you that you deserve to have all these things that the vast majority of people in the world don't? Now, if someone gives them to you as a gift, I understand that. That someone was able to do this, they love you, they're happy to do it for you, that I get. The assumption that they owed it to you, that I don't get. If anybody wants to explain it to me, I would be happy to hear it. And that's your free advice from 7 Generation Games, games that make you smarter. Go to www.7generationgames.com and download a game for yourself or donate one to a school or your favorite child.